Namaste, welcome everyone. My name is Kassandra and I'm going to take you through a short morning Yin Yoga practice. I will ask that you have 2 blocks for this class. If you don't have any at home, just grab whatever props you might have around you, whether that's some folded up blankets, some couch cushions, or some bed pillows. That should be just fine. So because we are short on time in the morning, we're only holding each pose for about 2.5 minutes or so. This is a wonderful way to get a full body stretch, and let's begin in supported fish with a butterfly shape in the legs. So you want to lay down on your props. The first block is in between your shoulder blades underneath your upper back, and the second block supports the back of your head. And I like having the blocks at their second level of height. You can do a different one at home or just stacking your pillows or cushions underneath you, just so you have your chest and your head elevated higher than your hips. And I'm bringing the soles of my feet together, letting the knees fall apart. And you can bring your arms wherever is the most suitable and comfortable for you here. So I love doing yin in the morning. I'm so happy to know that you guys are enjoying these practices as well. Sometimes, of course, I prefer a more energizing vinyasa, but there are some mornings where doing less is really the best way to begin the day. So just soften in the pose. Breathe slow and steady in and out through your nose. And start to ask yourself what your intention is for the day ahead. If you had your legs in that butterfly shape, start to float your knees back up. And you can support your head with your hands by tucking your chin to your chest. We're going to lift up. And staying in this seated position, you might want to bring your blocks in front of you. We're going to go pretty deep into our hamstrings. So from here, rather than folding forward with both legs extended for caterpillar pose, we're going to bend the left knee and see if you can stack your left knee over your right one. And you're just kind of bringing your left foot next to your right hip and right thigh. Just from doing this, you might already be feeling a nice stretch in the back of your leg. I know I certainly am. It is morning for me as well. So muscles are still quite tight. But if you can start to tilt and fold your way forward. And now this is where having the blocks close by can be really handy. You can stack them at whichever height feels the best to you. So remember, we're in the pose for a little over 2 minutes, which means you don't need to go as deep into the pose right away as you can. Your body will naturally soften and open. And be really kind with yourself. In the morning, we're always a lot stiffer than towards the end of the day. But that's why doing yin is a great thing we can do. So take your time to get comfortable and try to settle here. And let's start to walk the hands back in. Take your time, really feel the effects of this pose. You can move your props out of the way in order to re-extend that left leg out. Should feel good to release that one. We'll go to the other side. So this time you're trying to get your right knee as close as possible to stacking on top of the left one. You might be up like this, totally fine as well. And see if you can point those right toes back. So I know for me, left side is always tighter than the right one. Adjust however you need to. Maybe you just work at keeping your spine up nice and tall, or you might initiate your fold from here. So this is not about chasing sensation or about pushing. The benefits of the pose are the same, whether you're up high, like what I'm doing, or whether you can fold all the way down to your right leg. Maybe starting to ask yourself if there is one word that captures how you want to feel today. And let's come out again, slowly, until you can curl up and just set your props to the side. We won't need it for our next pose. Uncross your legs. Just feel that release. And we'll make our way to Sphinx. So laying on your belly, forearms on the ground, stretch your legs out behind you. So giving our legs a bit of a break as we open through the shoulders. Think of reaching your tailbone back towards your heels. You can play a little bit with the distance of your feet and the distance of your forearms. So a little back bend here as we pull the heart forward and press the shoulders down. Just really lifted here. And it's definitely easier to feel this in your low back, but see if you can really get this to target through your chest, your mid back, your upper back, and your shoulders. Release. Make sure you have your block somewhere close by. We're going to flip over onto our backs. Coming into supported bridge pose. And I'll give you guys a few options here for whatever feels the best to you. I'm going to lift my hips up and put the block at its second level, second height under the seat, under the tailbone. So you can either do this variation with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. If you'd like to go deeper into the fronts of your legs, you can extend and straighten your legs. Just make sure you don't feel this as compression and tension in your low back. And finally, if you wanted to relax your legs a little more, you can do a waterfall pose variation by lifting your legs up towards the sky. And this is actually the variation that I'm going to take here. So I'm not really focusing on flexibility in this one, but just a nice way to invert. Inversions can be really lovely to do in the morning, especially if you know that you'll be on your feet a lot today. But really just choose whichever of these three poses feels the most appropriate to you this morning. And you can also always change the height of your block. So whichever variation you had, we'll begin to ease out of this pose. And we'll move the block off to the side. We won't need our props anymore. And just draw your knees in towards your chest, maybe rocking a little bit side to side. So I generally don't do Shavasana pose when I do short morning yoga classes, personally because I tend to fall asleep and that's not what I want. So just take a few breaths here to make any little movements that feel good, that help you recalibrate after that final pose. It might feel nice to stretch your arms up overhead, extend your legs out long. And we'll turn to one side, push into the floor, come up to take a seat. Sitting up, cross-legged or kneeling, maybe up on a block. Close your eyes and join your hands at your heart. Choose your one word as the intention for your day. Anchor it here. And we'll close with the chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant, big breath in. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this morning Yin Yoga practice with me. Please let me know what your intention is today by leaving me a comment below. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. I have lots of other morning yoga classes. I would love for you to practice with me every single morning. You don't need a lot of time. Honestly, 10 to 20 minutes is perfect. And if you would like to stay a little longer on your mat, this meditation right here would be a wonderful one to follow this up with. Thank you all so much, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Namaste.